Beetlejuice from 1988. Directed by Tim Burton, written by Michael McDowell and Warren Scarron, based on a story by McDowell and Larry Wilson. Starring Michael Keaton, Alec Baldwin, Gina Davis, Catherine O'Hara, Winona Ryder.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
It's showtime.
Beetlejuice is definitely one of my favorite movies of all time. In anticipation of Beetlejuice Beetlejuice release later this week, we are going to talk about Beetlejuice on VHS. Welcome back to the Ecto-Violence channel. My name is Alec. Today, Beetlejuice is the topic. I specifically watched the VHS copy. Big fan, it's a beautiful release from Warner Home Video. My girlfriend happens to have Beetlejuice on laserdisc. I don't have a laserdisc player yet, but it's on the list. This is a movie that I watched so many times growing up, I don't ever remember watching it for the first time. Alright, so let's break this movie down and start with the positives. And starting with the cast and characters, obviously Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice is one of the most iconic roles of the late 80s. It's brilliant. It's iconic. Everybody remembers it. Everybody remembers him in this suit, even though he's only in it for like 2 minutes in the movie. Still, Michael Keaton's manic, crazy, hilarious, demented vibes ooze from this movie, and it's beautiful. Alec Baldwin is peak Alec Baldwin here. He has never been more attractive. And my name's Alec, I should know. Gina Davis, big fan of hers. Love her in The Fly. Catherine O'Hara, I mean, come on. You know her from Home Alone, but Beetlejuice? I really liked her in Best in Show as well. And obviously Winona Ryder is Lydia Dietz, and this is a character that is almost just as iconic as Beetlejuice. Because of how iconic both of these characters are, they ended up being the stars of the television series, which I hold in my hands the VHS of at least the first episode and 2 others. Critter Sitters, The Big Face Off, and Skeletons in the Closet. By the way, this entire series is now on Hulu, so go check it out if you haven't before. And if you haven't seen it in a while like me, it's definitely worth watching a few episodes. Sylvia Sidney as Juno is one of the more underrated roles in this movie, I think. She's a very hilarious and interesting and subtle character. Yoshi has come for a visit, everyone. Say hello to Yoshi. Tell him how pretty he is in the comments below. I will read them to him later. Apart from just the cast, the effects of this movie, let's talk about that. The effects and the design, let's kind of round those together. The design of this movie is crazy. This is where everybody says, oh, that looks like, very Tim Burton-y. That's part of that's Beetlejuice, you know what I mean? That's very much the aesthetic that this movie has going for it. Everything from the outfits that Lydia and Delia are wearing, to the artwork done by Delia, the makeover of the house, the red wedding dress that Lydia wears at the end. He's purring. I can't. I'm doing the rest of the video with him on my lap. Get used to it. The comedy in this movie is done really well too. I think my favorite scene is when they first are miniaturized down with him, and he's being insane in this scene. He's being creepy, but my favorite is when he jumps on Alec Baldwin's back and he's wearing the same clothes as him. Every time I see that, I lose it.
Hey, come here. You want one of these? You want that? Come here.
Let's talk a little bit about the music. This is Danny Elfman working with Tim Burton, which is a classic combination. Not only that, you have the Harry Belafonte songs in this movie, which absolutely tie it together. In fact, this is my family's copy of the soundtrack that we listened to growing up. I still hold on to it. So V. Neal worked on the makeup for this. I've actually had the pleasure of meeting her at a convention, which is pretty cool. She also did Penguin and Batman Returns. I think she worked a lot with Tim Burton. She worked on The Lost Boys as well. Beetlejuice's makeup and look is extremely iconic. It's pretty simple, honestly. It's detailed, but simple. It's very effective is what I'm saying. That's going to wrap up my positive thoughts on this movie. I could go on and on about just how much I love this movie and appreciate it because, who doesn't? Now let's talk about the negatives. The negatives? If you wanted to really go there, some of the effects, the stop motion stuff, may be a little bit bad. But honestly, that's the charm of this kind of movie. Everything's still spooky and horrifying. The most traumatizing scene for me as a kid was when they appear up in their wedding clothes and then crumble in the dust and shit. I was horrified by that. I had an existential crisis watching this, much like the one I had in Land Before Time. Speaking of the upcoming sequel, many of you may know that this movie was in development for a long time and then just kind of went off into development hell and was just kind of forgot about. In the 90s, there were various scripts of Beetlejuice Goes Hawaii floating around, and they even talked to Kevin Smith about doing it at one point. For the new movie, they created a soda, which I did try in a previous short video. And today I picked up this box of Orange Fanta with Jenna Ortega from the new movie. The only thing I was expecting was her to actually be on the can too, and she was not on the can. They're just regular cans. So now I have to keep the box. Before I rate this movie, why don't you go ahead and jump in the comments down below and let me know what you think of Beetlejuice, and let me know if you're excited to see Beetlejuice Beetlejuice this weekend. As far as my rating goes, I am going to give Beetlejuice a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It is near perfect. It is great. It is 92 minutes of pure fun. If you like this video, be sure to check out this other Beetlejuice video I did and hit that subscribe button. Thanks for watching.